Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have just gotten a new Sonic Frontiers trailer from Gamescom, and there is a bunch of new, interesting, and cool stuff to talk about, but there's also some stuff that we need to discuss that's not so good concerning Sonic Frontiers. And I just want to say this right off the bat and put out a disclaimer to everyone watching this video. I'm going to drop some opinions that not everyone is going to agree with. And that's perfectly fine if you disagree with me. We can all have different opinions and still be friends. There's nothing wrong with that. But just know that I'm not going to be 100% positive when it comes to Sonic Frontiers because I do have some issues with this game that I need to get off my chest. And on this channel, I speak my mind even if some people don't like it. That has got to be one of the cringiest things I have ever said. Anyways, with that said, if you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, and hit that bell for post notifications on if you want to be notified of my future Sonic content. Anyways, let's get into analyzing this trailer. Alright, so the trailer opens up with one of these little stone creatures sitting in the grass, until eventually an enemy shows up and tries to hit him, but ultimately Sonic came out of nowhere and swooped in and saved the little stone creature. Now, first of all, I just want to point out this one thing. The CGI cutscene here looks phenomenal. I love the CGI here, and I hope we get cutscenes like this in the game, because recent Sonic games have been kinda lacking in this CGI department. We got some CGI cutscenes in Sonic Colors, but other than that, for the past, 11 years, I think, we haven't seen much CGI at all. Hopefully, Sonic Frontiers is the game to finally go back to normal when it comes to CGI, because Sonic CGI cutscenes go hard. I mean, have you seen the Sonic Unleashed one? Everyone's seen it. It looks good. Okay, so next up, we see Sonic having this show off with the new villain of the game that goes by Sage, which is the child in the trailer. Now, I really like the dialogue sequence that takes place between Sonic and Sage, because if it's implying what I think it's implying, then, oh man, this story is about to be fire. Okay, so for some context, Ian Flynn, when he's writing the Sonic comics and just writing in general, he really likes to write characters that gives viewpoints on philosophy on various subjects. In fact, recently, Ian Flynn has wrote some IDW comics that made an entire section of the Sonic community debate the morals and ethics of Sonic the Hedgehog. That's how Ian Flynn's writing kinda goes. Of course, you may have some criticisms or some praises for Ian Flynn's writing, but the main thing I want to talk about here is the implications of what Sage's dialogue means here. Sage says, and I quote, "Your reckless actions endanger the world." Now, let's say, what if she wasn't putting on the villain act and she was actually being truthful about this? What if Sonic is doing something in the story that is actually endangering something? What if the line on who is the hero and who is the villain is not as clear this time? Maybe the way that Sonic goes about saving the day also has negative consequences. And I fully understand that Sonic is most likely going to be portrayed as the hero of this story, but maybe in this game they'll actually show Sonic having a character flaw. Yeah. That's right, Sonic with a character flaw. I never even thought that would ever be a thing, but if what Sage is saying here is true, there is a possibility that we may have to question some of Sonic's decisions. Which then brings in the philosophy aspect of storytelling, which is my favorite component of storytelling because that ultimately is what leaves behind an everlasting impression. I mean, just go look at any Spider-Man or Batman movie. If it's a good movie, it probably has some really nice philosophical questions to be asked. Let's hope that Sonic Frontiers is in the same vein of those stories. And with that said, let's move on. Alright, so the next thing we get to see is the level design for the cyberspace levels, and I have a few criticisms of what I saw here. So the first cyberspace level we get to see is the highway stage where Sonic jumps into the rings, and yeah, it kind of shows how short of a pathway that was. Now look, the level design is still definitely better than Sonic Force's level design, but that is such a low bar that I don't really care about that excuse, alright? Look, someday I'm going to pull out Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Generations and break down what makes those boosting levels so good, but that day is not here, alright? We'll do that in another video. But this right here, I don't really like pathways like this because, to be honest, it just looks like Sonic hits a ring and then it takes him all the way to the end of the pathway, and I don't like that. That is what we call automation. Automation is a necessary feature in Sonic games, but if you go overboard with it, it becomes unfun. Because ultimately, Sonic games are meant to be replayed over and over and again, and if every stage is the exact same thing over and over and again, that takes out the fun. That's why Sonic Forces was so lame to so many people. But who knows, this is only a small section of this stage. Maybe the rest of the level design is like peak, alright? There are some sections in Generations and Unleashed where it is a straight line, so, you know, maybe this is just one part of the stage. However, there's still 2 more stages that they showed off, so let's go look at that and see how promising it looks. Next, we get to see Sky Sanctuary, and here we get to see the level design in full action. The level design here is very interesting because it's not like anything we've seen before. So the first thing you'll notice here is that the level design actually has more pathways, and that is good. That is an upside to this. But in my opinion, it still doesn't look like it's up to good quality. So as we can see, there's definitely more pathways, but they all seem to go in a straight line. They all have the same endpoint of just going forward with not many obstacles in your way. I mean, if you look down below under the platforms that Sonic is jumping over, you can literally see a straight line. Now, I just want to say again, more pathways is a good thing. I like more pathways in a Sonic game, but if the pathways are just straight lines, then that's not really solving the issue. That's kind of like putting a disguise over the Sonic Forces level design and saying, hey, look, it's different, guys, right? I would much rather have the level design be one pathway with a ton of obstacles than multiple pathways with nothing on them. Take Sonic Unleashed for an example. The boosting stages in that game are very linear and barely have any alternate pathways. But the thing that makes Sonic Unleashed's level design so much fun is the fact that the level design has so many obstacles in your way. There's so many things for you to dodge, so many things you have to react to in a swift manner, and that's what I think 3D Sonic does best. Boosting Sonic games are all about reacting fast to upcoming obstacles. It's all about replaying the stages and getting faster times because you're learning the layouts of the stage. Not like Sonic Forces where you can just hold X and win easily. To me, it looks like Sonic Frontiers is going down that same route, but now it looks fancy while it does it. But enough about that. Let's go wrap it up with the final bit of gameplay they show of these cyberspace levels, being a new section from Green Hill Zone. Now, I'm not really going to analyze this section because it just shows Sonic bouncing on some springs and running down a straight 2D path, and honestly, the level design does look boring here, but it's such a small snippet of the level that it's kind of hard to judge it. So I don't really care about the Green Hill segment because it doesn't show us enough. Anyways, let's move on. Okay, so this is where the trailer gets really exciting for me because they show off a new island for Sonic to explore, being the Desert Island. Now, everyone probably thinks I hate this game due to me heavily criticizing the cyberspace levels, but no, I actually enjoyed the entirety of the rest of this trailer. I had a blast watching this. Look guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm super hyped for the open world segment of this game. I could not care less about the cyberspace levels because they don't look fun to me. But this is what gets me happy about Sonic. This is the stuff I love to see from Sonic. Alright, so let's analyze this. So the first thing we get to see is Sonic running away from the water on the desert island, and it shows all of the palm trees surrounding him in the realistic art style, and I think this looks beautiful, dude. This game is going to look phenomenal on my PC, dude, I swear. The next thing we get to see is Sonic going through the level design, which does look very automated to a sense where you're just kind of like jumping from platform to platform by probably pressing A. It looks like the segments in Sonic 06 where you just press A on the QuickTime events, but I might be wrong about that. I know they can make a lot better level design than this, and I hope that in the sequel to this game, whatever that may be, that they work on the level design in the open world, make it less automated, because this does look very automated. Like that's just me being frank with you. I will give it a pass for now because it does appear that you can use it as a way of transportation of getting around the map, which is very important because these maps look very large. I think I can give this a slight pass because we do have a lot of other cool things to do in the open world, such as combat and exploring and getting collectibles. I think that sounds like a cool concept. So if that's fun enough, then I can pretty much overlook the level design and I'll be just fine. It's still an issue that definitely needs to be fixed in the next iteration of the open zone gameplay. Anyways, the next thing we get to see is Amy, who has been captured in some kind of cybernetic cell or something. I don't know. It just looks spooky and scary, and that's cool. Okay, again, the CGI is phenomenal. I love the CGI here, but I have a small theory, or rather a question. I am wondering if this is actually an in-game cutscene, which basically implies that CGI cutscenes are actually going to be in the game. The reason why I'm asking this is because it looks like an event that would happen in the game. Like, imagine if you were playing as Sonic and you ran up to Amy and then this cutscene plays. And once the cutscene ends, you enter a fight with a bunch of these enemies that were shown on screen. That seems like a sequence that could actually happen, and I honestly hope it does. I want CGI in a Sonic game. That stuff is cool. So this next segment actually pulls a prank on me. So first, they actually show one of the ordinary enemies that were on the previous island, and this got me thinking like, oh no, did they reuse the same enemies on every island? That would be kinda lame, right? But no, in the next sequence, they show a new enemy on the desert island, and I am thankful. Thank you for doing that, because repeating enemies is never a good thing. That will hurt your game in devastating ways. The next thing we get to see is Sonic fighting a new boss on the desert island. And I love to see stuff like this. I like seeing the new bosses because I think the combat is one of the coolest things they showed off of this game so far. Now, I don't know how the combat will play because controls are definitely what matters when it comes to combat. If the controls are bad, the combat is bad. Like, it's simple as that. But if the combat is fun to use and it's not very tedious, then I can see myself loving this combat system in the game. And I hope that's the case, because as I've previously mentioned, Sonic games have a long history of combat systems that never worked. This could be the first time that a combat system is universally loved, and I hope that is the case. Alright, so the final new thing we get to see is the extended cutscene of a CGI cutscene we saw before, where Sonic's arm is infected by some kind of cybernetic virus or something. I don't know, it just looks really cool, alright? This is the kind of stuff I like to see from Sonic stories. This CGI cutscene is awesome. I love the dialogue, I like how Sonic looks here, I like how he looks angry to an extent. Like, this is good, this is what I want, man. The story, in my opinion, has got to be the most exciting parts about Sonic Frontiers because, dude, this looks so cool. I have zero issues with how this story looks right now. I love how it looks. This is what I want from a Sonic story, and I hope it's executed well on release. Oh, but then the trailer ends off with this. Yeah, it's releasing on November 8th, and there's the box art. Yeah, there's some stuff to talk about here. So first off, the box art looks kinda, like, I feel like they could have done a lot better, but it still looks nice regardless. I'm still definitely getting this game physically so I can put it on my shelf, that is a fact. But I'll be honest, when I saw this picture on the box art, I was kinda like, oh, it's that picture from a couple weeks ago that looked really cool, but I was kinda hoping it was something else. Either way, it still looks nice. I mean, it's a box art. It literally is a box art. Why are we talking about the box art? The thing you should be focusing on is the pre-order bonus, because, wow, that is something very interesting. So Sega is doing it once again, where they're going to offer multiple different versions of the game that have different features at different price points, and I'm not a big fan of this. I don't like games that do this. So what exactly is the pre-order bonus? Well, let's get into that because we're going to talk about all of this. We're going to take a look at the Steam page, which has all of the information that we need to know. And I'll even read off the specs and some other things that PC players might be interested in. Alright, so the first thing I want to tackle is the price point. Sonic Frontiers is $60. You know, that's a reasonable price, right? But guess what? Sonic Frontiers has a digital deluxe, and how much does it cost? Do you think maybe $65 because the previous games were only $5 more with the Digital Deluxe? Wouldn't that make sense? Well, no, because apparently Sonic Frontiers is cool, so yeah, it has a $70 price tag for the Digital Deluxe. Oh man. But let's go look at what the Digital Deluxe Edition has to offer. I mean, after all, it could be worth the price point, right? The Steam page says the following. The Digital Deluxe Edition comes with the Explorer's Treasure Box, which contains useful items for your adventure. Amy's memory tokens, Knuckles memory tokens, Tails memory tokens, portal gears, Chaos Emerald Vault keys, additional gloves and shoes for Sonic, and a digital art book with a 25-track digital mini soundtrack. Okay, so I have a lot to say here. Now, I don't really know how useful these items actually are, but from how it looks, it kinda looks like pay to win. And when I say pay to win, I'm not saying pay to win in the same way of like Call of Duty, you know, getting loot boxes so you can get a nice new weapon. No, I'm talking about like it progresses you through the game a lot faster than people who play the standard edition. And you know, I never thought I would be in a scenario to say this, but it looks like the Digital Deluxe Edition might be worse than the standard edition. Because it looks like here that the game just kind of progresses for you, which I don't really like that. I want to do everything myself. I don't want the game to give me portal gears right off the bat. If I remember correctly from the IGN interview, portal gears and Chaos Emerald Vault keys were very important to the main gameplay loop of Sonic Frontiers. So you're kind of just getting a head start on everyone, which that's kind of lame. Now, I will say that the additional gloves and shoes for Sonic is a pretty good reason to get the Digital Deluxe Edition, but I kinda hope they put a lot more cosmetics in. Like, don't just give us 1 or 2 gloves or 1 or 2 shoes, I want a lot more. People paid $10 extra. We don't want a head start, we want more content, that's what we want. But that's not all. There's also a pre-order bonus with this game, but I don't really have a problem with that because pre-order bonuses are just natural in the state of video game business. If you pre-order now, you can receive the Adventurer's Treasure Box, which contains skill points, red seeds of power, and blue seeds of defense to give Sonic a boost on his new journey. I read that straight from the Steam page, and honestly, that also sounds like just another boost to get you through the game faster, which I never understood like extra content like that. That doesn't even feel like extra content. If I'm going out my way to pre-order this game or pay an extra $10, I want to be rewarded, you know? I don't want to have more stuff at the beginning. I want new content, a DLC or something. Not memory tokens, I can get that in the game. I don't care about all that. But it is what it is. Anyways, let's get into the final bit of the information off the Steam page, and this is all for PC players. It appears that on the right side of the Steam page, you can see a message in yellow that says incorporates third-party DRM. Denuvo. Oh boy, Denuvo. I love Denuvo. Denuvo sucks. It doesn't protect games from piracy. People will still get their hands on Sonic Frontiers. It is only here to punish consumers, which I don't like because this game looks like it's going to be very graphically intensive, so we need all the performance we can get, especially people who have lower-end systems. But with Denuvo, how are you gonna do that? It's gonna be lagging, it's gonna be choppy. That's what Denuvo does, and why do you keep putting this in your games? I'm tired. Which, by the way, we need to get into the PC specs for the game because it's going to be very important for PC players. Okay, so system requirements. And by the way, I want to preface this by saying that this is the minimum. This is not the recommended. This is the minimum requirements of playing the game. It requires a Core i7 3770, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and a GTX 1060 with 6 gigabytes of VRAM. Now, for a lot of people, you probably don't even care about those specs I listed off because, to be frank, in today's standards, that's not too high. I mean, you have people running around with like 3060s. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But this is by far the new biggest hardware demanding Sonic game on PC. I know from my personal experience that I could run Sonic Generations and Sonic Forces on pretty much any computer. Those games are very easy to run. I remember playing Sonic Generations on a Core i3 and still getting above 60 FPS, so I can imagine that there's a lot of Sonic fans playing on lower-end hardware. And that's because, as a Sonic fan, these games aren't too badly optimized. Like, sure, they have some issues with the PC ports, but they run good. Sonic Frontiers is different. The minimum requirements alone are much higher than we have ever seen from any Sonic game. And that is just minimum. I don't know if they're ever going to give out the recommended specs, because it looks like they just kind of left it empty on the Steam page, but it doesn't seem like this game is going to be easy to run for a lot of people. I don't see this as an issue with the game because ultimately, as games get more advanced, it's going to require a lot more hardware to get the games running. However, I will inform everyone watching this video that if you have a PC on the lower end side, that you definitely should not get Sonic Frontiers on PC. It is not worth it because you're probably not going to be able to run it well. So get it on Xbox or PlayStation or Switch, although I don't know if Switch is much better, to be honest with you. Now, with that said, that is all the information we got from the trailer and the Steam page for Sonic Frontiers today. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, and hit that bell for post notifications on if you want to be notified of my future Sonic content. Anyways, I love you guys. Adios. My channel members are Snix, JNXV, Orion Pax, Ethan K78, Junion Rings, Epic Gaming with George, Sonic Man 715, Archer XYZ, Sonic Up, Thomas Winride, Chip Chop Chop, Scape, The Squeaker Nerd, Super Shags, Boom Sonic Extreme, and Super Saiyan Sonic. Thank you all for supporting the channel. Anyways, make sure to click one of the end card screen videos here. Love you guys. Peace out.